Okay, so this is my Neo-Geo Big Red Cab. It is a 2-slot. I wanted to show it off a bit and give some information on it, on the system, and also this particular cab that I purchased. This one actually contains a 2-slot motherboard. It is an arcade machine that takes cartridges, which I'll show you in a moment. The cartridges can be switched out, so it's very easy to change the game in it. They made these in, well, there were 1 slots. They had 2 slots, such as this one, 4 and 6. 6 is very expensive and rare. And yeah, basically you could change the games out, and the games came with kits with artwork and such. And you can see a little in the top, the older ones with the large marquee had these inserts and stuff, and then they went to the smaller marquee. This particular machine I found on Craigslist, and I will demonstrate the machine, we'll get to that. But I found this on Craigslist, and it was a project. I got it for $200 after a lot of searching and finding either cabs that were way overpriced or just ruined. The problem with this one was multifaceted. The coin mechanisms did not work. They had been bent and messed up. The controls, they worked but weren't very good. The monitor flickered in and out of color. It looked terrible. It was unplayable. These have stereo sound, where traditional jam and older arcades are just mono sound. On this one, I was not getting any game sounds out of the right speaker, and there was a loud hum. So first of all, I'll walk you through what I did to repair this machine. Now, when I opened the machine, let me back up. When I got this machine from the guy on Craigslist, he got it from a storage unit auction. He did not have the keys to it. He had not opened the machine at all. So when I went to check it out, I wanted to see the inside, and he drilled out the locks for me. It came with Samurai Showdown, was in the slot. However, after getting it home, there were 2 other games in there, Fatal Fury Special and Samurai Showdown 2. These are pretty common cartridges. But great find. There was a little bit of cash in there. A few other odds and ends. So anyway, first thing I did was repair the controls, because I had to ask online about the monitor. Apparently the screen I have with this is a Cortec. Nobody at Neo-Geo.com could identify it, and they say typically when we can't identify it, there's no markings. It's a certain kind that really sucks, but that's what I'm stuck with. These open from the front. You can get into the back to address the monitor, but they open from the front. Basically the way it works, and I actually, when I first got one of these, I didn't know, I had to look online. You reach in through here, through the coin door, and way up here, there's these hooks that hold this in place. And then you can pull this down and have access to the machine. Now, what I did, first of all, before we go into that, I replaced all the controls. I ordered the buttons and the joysticks on eBay. I selected the colored buttons, how it was originally made and everything, but when I made the order I forgot to specify joystick colors, so they just threw in random colors. I just put them in. They're great. The interesting thing about the controls is that on part of the wiring harness there was, let's see if I can get you to see that. In there, the connectors did not fit the switches on the joystick, and so I had to just remove the connectors and soldered it directly to the joystick. You know, if need be, I can always go back and desolder or extend the wires or whatever. But I replaced all the buttons in the joystick. The coin credits were fine. Next up, I did the coin mechanisms. They were relatively cheap. Removed the old ones, put the new mechs in there so it can accept the coins. That was easy. Now with the monitor, it was a real pain. I had to recap the monitor board, put new electrolytic capacitors on. I had to fix some poor joints on the RGB connection that was in there. I mean, it was a mess. And last but not least, I had to adjust the horizontal coil because the image was too big for the screen. And what that ended up doing is it kind of mushed the sides but didn't change the entire picture's aspect ratio. Most people wouldn't notice it unless I just pointed it out to you, but that will need capture place to use. That was a lot of work. I had to rebuild traces on the board and everything. I struggled with that monitor for a long time. I actually went the route of considering putting a television in there and using a J-Rock or one of the JAMA boards, RGB to NTSC converter, and just having it on a TV. And I did buy I went so far as to buy a 25-inch, because that's the size of the screen, television off of Craigslist for like 20 bucks that I found. Ended up not using it because I got the monitor to work acceptably. I could use a degaussing coil for the left corner, but whatever. Yeah, so I did all that. The light at the top was out. And I just took the old bulb to Home Depot. They had one that matched, put it in, no problems other than the connection's a little wiggly in there, loose, but it works. And let's see, so the games that I have for it, these are games that I've bought. Pardon the mess, this is just my playroom. As you can see there, now the Samurai Showdown 1, 2, and Fatal Fury Special were in the machine. The Metal Slugs I bought from users on Neo-Geo.com. Now, if you notice 4 and 5 that's actually in a kit form, which includes the artwork and flyers and dip settings and things of this nature. And those are a lot more expensive to buy in a kit, but towards the end of the life cycle on this machine, it's more common to find the kits than the loose cartridges, at least in my experience. The Metal Slug 4, for some reason, was difficult for me to find. I had to order from a guy in Italy. The rest of them weren't so hard to find. It was hard to find Metal Slug 5 at a reasonable price. But these cartridges are relatively cheap. These common ones here, you can get these for 30, 40 bucks. You know, Bust a Move is going to run you about 60. These kits, these are about 150 each. Metal Slug 3 was like 60, same with these. Metal Slug 1 was like $40. And most of them are around 40 to 50 bucks. There's some that are around 100 and some rare ones that are 200 plus. I do have one rare one that's in the machine now that I'll show off. So anyway, as far as the audio on this machine, I recapped the audio board, and now I don't have the hum on the right side, and I do have stereo sound, although the slider for adjusting the volume inside the cab is a little bit, there's a little crackle to it, it's a little finicky, but overall it's a fully functional cab and I'm happy with it, but it did take some restoration. The next thing is I need to get one of these overlays, because as you can see, the credit on the right side, the little window there has been kind of gouged out. This machine was in a public place. This side looks fine. As you can see, the decals and stuff. The right side has some markings in it, which is why that side's up against the wall. I'll replace that eventually. I do use this machine on Twin Galaxies, and I do have accepted records there. So for all intents and purposes, it's a fully legitimate functional machine. I'll go ahead and turn it on and give you a quick peek here. I'll go ahead and fasten this as well. Now, it does take a second for the monitor to warm up. These are typical of older arcade screens. Lots of them, you know, do that. But once it comes on, now the black line that you'll see scrolling in the camera is not actually on the screen, that's just, you get that on the video. This is the rare game that I have. It is Samurai Spirits 0 Special, or is known here Samurai Showdown 5 Special. It is listed as extremely rare on the MVS price guide. And I've been playing it a little today. It's a pretty solid game, really.
いざ尋常に1本目勝負。
Well, that didn't go so well. Yeah, truth be told, I just got this game in today. It actually shipped from Japan. So, I don't claim to be an expert. This was a Japanese only release as well. So, anyway, here you go. If you guys have any questions or anything about any of this, you know, feel free to send me a PM, however you can find me, and, you know, thanks for watching my video. Appreciate it.